who stand by you. This is a very educated person. He knew exactly what to do, and he still looked at his brother to say, bro, am I effing this up, or should I do this? And you're there for him. My information I'm giving him doesn't benefit me in any way. I don't make a piece of his trade. What benefits me is my friend now gets to go one more step farther to where he wants, and he doesn't have to question the decision he made. He gets to go to his peer who will give him real information. And I really, really want people to do that. Also, I want you to meet people. Like, this room is proof of it. Look how you all are sitting. Seriously. Scattered in bunches all over. Why not all together? Because communities are like the last thing people care about. Everyone's a lone wolf who knows everything about everything. I want you to realize the person next to you might be the missing key you needed. Being self-aware of what you're capable and what you're not capable of is huge. I can't write copy for shit. I would never spend 5 months writing an ad copy when I can pay someone who's very good at it to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? So please learn. If you're here at 4 o'clock, the exercise I'm going to do with you is make you meet those people. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's like, I don't want to. But I promise you, connections and conversions and the impact of people are why we're all sitting here. My business partner and I did decently well before we met each other. Now we spend a small country's GDP every year on Facebook. Why? Because I knew I'm great at starting things, and my follow-through on those type of things was horrid. I found Zach, his follow-through is legendary. So we moved to team together, realizing that, hey, I'm gonna give up something, he's gonna give up something, we both benefit. So I want people to build ecosystems, and if it's not with us, fine. There are tons of educators, tons of leaders, tons of mentors out there. Find the one you coagulate with. Find the one whose information you take in and absorb. Because that's what it's all about. And if it's coming here and sitting this, or if it's going to chase down the person you want to meet, do it. Never take no for an answer. I have zero problem making myself feel awkward as shit all the time, nosing away. I mean, listen, if you watch me downstairs, I hunted Tim Draper down. I barged my way right in, and not only did I get my picture I wanted, because I love the guy, I think he's a legendary man, we sat there and talked for 15 minutes. He proved to me he's a human being. He's like, what's this on your shirt? Can you tell me about it? And at the end of it, he's like, oh, dude, this is awesome. I love it. And that right there, I have now, my thesis has been a little bit more solidified because I went to someone, I took the access to go out and say, hey, what do you think? Let me bounce this off you. So please, you're in this group, you're in a room with 5,000 other people at this event who all have similar objectives as you. I can promise you the most intel, information, and gains you will get from any of these events is never from what's up here. It's from what's down there. Right? Teamwork is and always will be the way to make the dream work. No human being can crush themselves. I'm just going to say that real.
Yep.
I just wanted to add on to that, finding a group of people that you kind of, mesh with really well. The biggest thing I think it does for you is accountability. And I say that because, Chase as a, brother and I mean, he is older than me, so like a mentor to me. He keeps me accountable and like keeps me in check when I need it. And if you don't, if you're just kind of like, again, like a lone wolf status, yeah, you can make things work and it can work out in the end, but I can promise you're 10 times better when you have at least one person there, like kind of pushing you in the right direction if they see you slipping up, because sometimes you can't see like yourself slipping up. You know what I mean? Like it's
well, real friends, and you want real people. Listen, I have no problem telling Ty's a piece of shit when he's being a piece of shit. Period. You need that. You need someone who's gonna push you and give you fuel and drive to grow. But when you make a stupid decision, that's a real friend. They know it's tumultuous for what they're about to tell you, and there's potentially reactionary causality that will come from you being real.
And it just sees from an outside point of view too. Like just because again, sometimes you can't see yourself and what you're doing, but somebody on the outside can. So again, it's just kind of like a group, having somebody accountable that can see it from like an outside eye as well.
Most people cannot see themselves. How many people have a friend or someone they knew in high school that was amazingly good looking, and then all of a sudden 10 years passes and they're super overweight? They don't know it. You look at them and they're like, wait, what do you mean? I look great. Because they are not self-aware of the change that's happening, because every little change that goes on in their brain, something sparks them that's the normality. And so when they add something to it, that's the new normality. When someone else from the outside sees you, they know what your normality is and if you're above it or below it, because they're looking at you objectively. And that's how you should be with your friends. That's how you should be with everybody. When someone's telling you about the best ICO, you should be asking objective questions. Hey, do I get a piece of your company? Hey, who are the founders? Hey, what have you done before? All of these questions, because you need to have them tell you the things that they won't just open up and tell you. You need to know these things. These are the things that mean the most. How many people jumped in a relationship really quickly before they knew someone? Damn, you guys are really, 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 really good. That many people. That just like 8.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it at all. But we've all done that, right? Or a lot of us. And all of a sudden you get to realize the person, you're like, damn, this person sucks. Well, what happened? You dove into a situation or scenario that you really didn't know anything about, the hype or maybe the look of someone or the feel it gave you, made you dive into it. When your logic is what should be key always. In a relationship, in business, in anything. You need to give logic there and put in effort. I had a bathroom conversation with a guy who's like, I want your guys' alerts because they're awesome and they've been crushing so well for so many people, but I don't want to do shit. I looked at him, I'm like, you're at the wrong convention. The Gamblers Anonymous is like 2 buildings down. You have to understand effort is key. Tell your wife after 5 years that you don't want to put any effort anymore, and then you call me back and let me know how that goes. It's the same thing. You guys, relate things to real things in your world. We're all people, mixed bags at best. I've spoken to billionaires, and I've spoken to kids who were eating Tide Packs and snorting condoms. So every one of them's thesis is the same. They all want to be better, but they don't know the direction, how to avoid the noise to get there, because they don't want to do the work. They want some shortcut that solves everything. This game of life is like Zelda when you were a kid. And for any of the millennials, you probably know what the hell I'm talking about, but Zelda, yeah, right? It's all of my friends in school played it every single day when they got home. I found the kid who had the hack to get me to level 187. Did I still have to do work? Sure, because at level 187, it was really, really hard. But what did it do? I found the right person with the right information. They allowed me to skip a whole bunch of lines. That's how you become successful. It's time. Augment time. The most successful people in the entire world have realized that to be successful in your world, you slow it down so that everything that you do seems so perfect. So please understand that hard work is part of this. People say, Chase, never make guarantees, especially my lawyer. I'm gonna make some. In success, it will be so stressful. It will be so cumbersome. You will doubt everything about you 1,000,000 times. And if you don't, everyone around you will. But I promise you one thing. The reason most people aren't successful is because they don't have the wherewithal to make it through that. They can't find the inner drive to tell themselves they're worth enough to say, you over there talking shit, you don't pay my bills. Mom, stop. I love you no matter what, but get out of here. You need to focus on you, period. Every single person has a different thesis they're trying to accomplish. So make sure you're focusing and putting in the work. Because if you're not, please meet me in the back and give me all your money, because we'll get it eventually. And I don't want that. That's me saying that as a friend and as a foe. You have to be educated and work hard, because if you don't, this space, this world is going to eat you up. And if you come at 4, you're going to find out a lot of the talks that I do are about personal shit. Do I trade and have a big fund? Yes. Do we build tons of products and make tens of millions of dollars, all the cool stuff? Yes. But I truly believe if your business life went directly like this, 99% of people would still fail. Why? They don't have the personal wherewithal to understand what success is. It's supposed to be grueling in the beginning so you learn how to handle stress, right? It's supposed to be tough so you know how to handle a challenge. If it's super, super easy and then all of a sudden you're worth $100 million, what kind of depth do you think you have as a person? What kind of asset do you think you are as a human being? Because the real legacy isn't how much money you make, and take it from a bunch of people who've made far more money than we ever thought. It solves nothing, except I get to wear newer clothes and drive a nicer car. Your legacy is what matters. What matters to me is how my children perceive their father. And that's why I go so hard every single day, because we're the generational change. If we're not teaching our kids and the youth below us to go 1,000,000% no matter what happens, well, what are we expecting our future to be? We have a world right now where we are allowing kids in college who literally had a craze where they were snorting condoms to make political change. Does that not terrify? Who here's terrified for what Hi, there's some real shit. I want you guys to understand that it takes you to make effort for the future. Yes, you can rub it off and go be somewhere else, but nothing will change. So please, I'm a religious man, and I believe this one thesis. God gave you a gift, one of them, or your maker, he gave you one. What you do with it is your gift back to your maker. So make sure you give a damn good one, because you got one shot here. And for anybody who's going through it, I don't know how old you are, it goes quick, right? 2018, I thought it was January 12th. What month is it now? You see, so please, focus, put in the work, and pick brains of people who know what they're talking about, not someone who's just trying to get you into a position to make themselves better. So please, please, please focus, you guys.
I'm going to dovetail that last part, because you had two things that I want to tie together, and it's, who are you listening to? I can't tell you how much. If you've been in crypto a minute, you've started to hear this kind of OTC thing going on, and it's the most laughable thing I've ever seen. It's a bunch of people chasing lottery tickets. You all of a sudden hear some person on LinkedIn who looks like they're 19 years old and haven't done anything, and they're like, I've got a $1 billion mandate to buy Bitcoin from some magnet in Asia somewhere. Okay, sure. No one's giving you access to $1 billion or $1 billion in Bitcoin. It's all just kind of fake. So that's happening a lot in crypto right now. People who have never sat at any relevant table, had any relevant conversations or any relevant experience, and they're keyboard warriors. They're people who are sitting on mommy or daddy's couch eating Cheetos, and they're projecting themselves to people who don't know any better as if they know something, and it's very dangerous. And so you always got to have to kind of dig beneath the surface. Does this person have the career that would give them access to the information that they're trying to prescribe to you? But kind of a correlation to that I want to make is something Chase said about the worst thing we can do to this market is freak people out and scare people away. And so when I talk a lot at CryptoWatch, I talk a lot about what would whales do, and really I say what would kind of influencers do, what would people who are thinking about this long term do, and there's a lot of indicators that should give you comfort. One, who owns the most patents in blockchain? Bank of America and Goldman Sachs. It's not it's not by accident. This industry is not going anywhere. I think a lot of people are kind of scared to get into the shallow end of the pool, much less the deep end of the pool, because they keep hearing it's a scam, or this isn't going to last, or it's not going to happen. There are so many large corporations that have made bets in this space already. The cat's out of the bag. This thing is not going away. So now what you have to wonder, I have another thing where I like to troll people who think they know what they're talking about. This idea that they're like, oh, Bitcoin's going to be 1,000 or 3,000 by the end of the year. No concept of what they're talking about whatsoever. No clue. I will bet you right now. There's a fundamental need to protect this market. And so I guarantee you, even the government's thinking about this. You want to know what a safety valve is? If all of a sudden Bitcoin plummeted to 1,000, that might do irreparable damage to this entire industry. And there are people, masters of the universe, whether it's in finance and government, who absolutely know how to, if you notice, even if you look at Bitcoin as a whole, it's kind of it's volatile, but there's a certain when it starts to go down, oh look, there's good news, and it goes back up, and then it goes down, and good news, it goes back up, and you see a lot of this kind of come out, and Ty's forgotten more about technical analysis than I'll ever learn, but I like the fundamental analysis side of it. Do you want to know what government safety valve is for the price of Bitcoin plummeting and possibly threatening the market? An approved ETF. Guarantee it. I guarantee you see the market start to shudder and absolutely, possibly do irreparable damage to consumer confidence that would set us back 2, 3, 4 years. All of a sudden, magically, you'll see an ETF approved, and people will be, woo, back on the right track. And that's, if you're thinking about Machiavellian, you're thinking about whether it's finance or political, you're thinking this thing has legs and it's going to be an important industry going forward. You can't afford to freak people out and scare everyone else away. There's not like there's a line of bodies where just, loan sharks just killing every person that's a late payment. No, because that person is never going to pay you then. You don't want to hurt your customer. And so at the end of the day, yes, there are absolutely wizards of finance who are making money in bear markets and bull markets, but they want this industry to thrive and be a much larger industry going forward, multi-trillion-dollar industry. It's going to eclipse what you saw in the dot-com boom. And so as you think about what people are doing right now, they have to move a bunch of money. We're talking, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars into a new asset class. They have to do that over time. They have to do that very responsibly, and they have to do it, as we're trying to onboard regulation and issues around taxation at the same time. And so that's going to take some time. So if you're looking at me, I always tell people, when you're no longer new to crypto, when a bear market kind of excites you. When prices are low, I'm like, yes. And then things start running, and I'm like, oh shit, all right, I'll go do something else now. So in December, I was kind of bored. I'm like, I'm not buying at these prices. What are you, crazy? And so I love when things kind of go down. And most large financiers or people who are accredited investors, that's what they're looking for too. And so there's ways to play both sides of any market. But as you think about it, if you have to move, I look at right now, 6,500, how many people last year at 20,000 were like, God, just give me 6,500 again. Please give me another chance. Give me another bite at the apple. Well, life gave you another bite at the apple, and everybody's like, Bitcoin's dead. It's crap. I'm like, what kind of, literally 10 months ago, people were begging for these prices again. I'm so excited. If you could give me, because we all have day jobs. We all have, things that generate fiat. My only goal for investing in altcoins, my only goal for having, fiat is to buy more Bitcoin. It's literally land. I said this in my pitch this morning. I wish my parents would have bought more land. It's scarcity. And we have a new age land rush now where you can buy land. It's just Bitcoin, and it's not going to go up. Arguably, there's probably 5 to 6 million Bitcoin that will never be seen again. So why not accumulate as much as you can right now at these prices? And so please do not give me a bull market in December. I want this thing to trade at 6,500 stable, but slightly going up for as long as possible, because I'm playing a 5-year, 10-year game. I'm playing, monumental changes and monumental life-defining capital allocation for my family and my generations to come. Not trying to buy a Lambo next month, and all of us kind of could, and a lot of you probably could too. So it's have a longer-term view on this. Take comfort in the fact that this is not a scam. It's not going anywhere. And we have a lot of very large players and very large corporations that are absolutely 100% behind this, and they're not doing that because they think it's not going to be around a couple of years from now.
62 is better.
What's that?
62 is better.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
There's actually really big shorts right now at 6,500 too. I think it's 139.
I just want to say something. I want to dive a little bit deeper on the scarcity part of it. I don't think people really grasp when he says 5 or 6 million coins are missing. There's never going to be more than 21 million Bitcoin. So earlier when I said the reason I like Bitcoin long term is because I look at things like Netflix, and people are going to do that forever. Amazon, 52% of the global e-commerce market is on Amazon now. Facebook, it's just not going anywhere. There's certain companies that are like that. Bitcoin essentially is like that because it's the granddaddy of them all. People are really slow. The government is really slow. All of us are slow to adapt to these things. And so since people are just now starting to adapt to Bitcoin, even though there's going to be plenty of coins that are being created out there in the other room that are better, faster, stronger, this, that, more magical, Bitcoin will still be the granddaddy for the next 5, 10 years, if not forever. So when you only have 21 million Bitcoin, 4 million of them we know right now are gone forever. People left it in their wallet. People don't know what a wallet was back then. They had it on a laptop. My friend that just walked in had a bunch of Bitcoins, and who knows how many. And when those coins are gone, they're gone forever. I know a bank teller who bought Bitcoin and sent it to an Ethereum wallet. Those are gone forever. 4 million of those are gone. But then what people don't think about is, let's say I send Chase 5 grand. I send Zach $1,000. I send him $542. I send Randall $600. During those transactions, if I do it from different wallets, I might have $3.21 left over, $2 left over, $1.50 left over, and I forgot $14 in my other account. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? Except when 9 million people leave an extra $1 here, 42 cents, $2.64, $8, $3. Not to count the people that left $1,000 or $500 in their wallet and they just forgot it, their password or whatever happened. All the little change is going to start adding up where $1, $2, 62 cents, and $3 times millions and millions and millions of people around the world. Well, when there's only 21 million and 4 million are gone, that's 17 million, and you have guys like the Winklevoss brothers and Chamath, and these guys have hundreds of thousands, if not a million plus coins. Like, there's certain characters out there that have hundreds of thousands of coins. The number goes from 21 to 17 to 15 to 13, and you start thinking about all the different people that have large positions. Now you're less than 10 million coins. Well, we're about to hit 8 billion people. 2 billion of them don't count because they're never going to be able to buy a Bitcoin because they just don't have electricity, right? 2 billion are probably never going to buy it because they just don't care. They're the people that are still scared of buying things on the internet. Like, they're just not going to buy stuff. You still have billions of people over the course of time that are going to eventually get into Bitcoin. Now, let's say none of that happens and only this little percent get in. Right now, there's really only 50 or 60 million people that have any crypto at all. So 50 or 60 million people is nothing. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually nothing. So we're, right, that's a fifth. Yeah, there's 300 million people in America, but we're talking about a global currency. We're talking about a global movement. So if you only have 50 or 60 million people that own it, what happens when you get to 100 million or 200 million or 300 million people? Math happens. Because you have to buy our Bitcoin. I'm not selling you Bitcoin. I didn't sell it at 18,000. I'm not going to sell it at 6,500. So my number's not 20,000. My number's not 22. It's not 34,000. My number's really big. And they have a different number in their heads of when they're finally like, okay, fine, I'm going to sell it. It's too high. But along the way, if Adam, John, Robert, Jessica, and Jennifer try to buy our Bitcoin, we're not selling. So if there's tens of thousands of us, or hundreds of thousands of us, or eventually millions of us that aren't selling, what happens? The price just evolves over time. Because there's just no other way for them to get Bitcoin besides buying it from other humans. The reason the government's so frustrated with Bitcoin is there's no CEO of Bitcoin, there's no office, there's no bank account to seize, they can't kick the doors in, they can't arrest anybody. They just can't do what they're used to if they're scared of something or they don't like something, because I lived it. When I went through the online poker space, I had one of the biggest poker brands in the world, and my competitors had 16 bank accounts seized in foreign countries, even in countries that you couldn't do those things. The government came in and seized billions of dollars that wasn't even the poker site's money, it was the players' money. And then for 4 years, those players didn't get their money back because the government wanted to earn interest on it and make people fight to get and apply to get their own money back. When you look at sports betting, and you look at DraftKings and FanDuel, what happened last year? New York went and said, DraftKings is illegal. What? It's on the New York Jets sign. Like, it's running on NBC 24 hours a day. They're spending $4 million a day in commercials. What are you talking about illegal all of a sudden? Online poker was around for 8 years before they decided to say it's illegal. And then when you read the fine print, they didn't even say online poker was illegal. So for me, I'm a bit jaded because I've watched online poker, sports betting, DraftKings, and then here's another one. Have you ever tried to fly to Canada? Vancouver is the toughest border I've ever been to in the world. It seems like such a high-end city would be easy to get to. It takes me over 2 hours to 3 hours to get through security there because they're so strict. And what happened last week? Cannabis is legal.